Welcome to VTEX 3. VTEX 3 is a multi-factor authentication system designed to protect important aspects of a person's credit and identity. With identity theft on the rise, credit card fraud on the rise, and criminals becoming more and more sophisticated by the day, it's time for a solution that uses time-tested corporate-level security simplified for consumers. This video introduction to VTEX 3 will start with a user who's going to create an account on the VTEX 3 server in order to protect himself against online fraud, identity theft, and social media problems that could end up following him his entire life. Using a very simple and familiar process, the end user will sign up for a VTEX 3 account. The visual concept for VTEX 3 provides the user with a simple and clean interface built around psychological concepts designed to build trust. Once the user has signed up, he or she would have the option to download the VTEX 3 mobile app from the correct app store. While doing this, the website presents a unique, digitally encrypted QR code for the user. This QR code is unique to the account and screen, and we'll see where it's used in just a minute. The user would simply visit the App Store, download the VTEX 3 application, and start it. The application starts with a clear visual that continues the brand identity and strong safety message. Here, the user provides one factor of authentication. An authentication factor simply means one unique method of verifying something is true. A typical website has one factor of authentication, the login. Each factor increases the security level significantly. The first VTEX 3 factor is the username or Facebook credentials used on the website. Next, the user must tie the phone into the account, providing an added level of security and a second authentication factor. The user will scan the on-screen QR code, linking the phone's physical device ID to the account that has been authenticated. The user will then see a dashboard that allows him or her to see a list of items that VTEX 3 will protect. Over time, the multi-factor authentication in VTEX 3 will protect credit cards, social security numbers, social media accounts, and other items that make up a consumer's digital life. The end user views a clean interface showing existing items under protection, in this case, credit cards. Adding a new card is very simple. Hold the card in front of the camera and allow the software to do the rest. The system will recognize the card and add it to the protection database. Using this method, it requires the card to be physically in the hands of the device holder and therefore demonstrates ownership of the account. The new card appears on the list of protected items and is now part of the VTEX 3 protection database. For the next part of the demo, we're going to look at VTEX 3 in action. Here we have a consumer e-commerce website, and clearly a shady individual has somehow obtained a credit card. He's selected an item and is about to make the purchase. These small transactions often clear without any hesitation on the part of credit card companies. There's very little way for them to know that the card is in the hands of a thief. The e-commerce website continues with normal checkout routines. Using a VTEX 3 API, the e-commerce vendor identifies the card number as one protected by VTEX 3 and passes the transaction to the server for additional verification. Our end user is now notified through an alert that someone is trying to use the card. Unaware of the transaction, the end user selects View to see what's being purchased. Our end user quickly realizes he doesn't know who's making this purchase on his card, and he presses Decline. The sad thief has been stopped, and the transaction has been prevented from taking place. Now we have a young lady that has just done very well on her final exams. As a result, her father has given her permission to go online and find a reward. She selects the item and continues the purchase. Once again, the card is flagged by the VTEX 3 servers. The young lady's father is alerted of the transaction and the amount. He quickly views the transaction to see what his daughter has selected. He approves the transaction by entering the third factor of authentication. That is a 4 to 6-digit PIN number that he has entered when he created the account. This approves the transaction, and he types a note to his daughter at the same time. The website is notified through the API, and the transaction continues as expected.